Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I never like doing these podcasts because they're always sad. But legendary wrestler, WWE Hall of Famer Pat Patterson passed away today at the age of 79 in Miami, Florida. I mean, he was originally from Montreal, Quebec, and I mean, his legacy in wrestling. I mean, he was the first ever Intercontinental Champion. Uh, he won the tournament, big air quotes on the tournament in what was it, South America, and they merged the North America title and the South American title. He became the Intercontinental Champion back in 1977. So, I mean, I've heard stories from like Peter Rosenberg. He has a friend who is just such a mark for the Intercontinental Championship that he saw Pat Patterson at a at a WrestleMania after party event, and he just marked out. And I've heard stories of that. People who are just marks of the Intercontinental title, and they see certain guys of that stature, and they just lose their minds. Um, but I mean, his career started long before that. I mean, he started wrestling what, in 1958. So, and he's been involved with it ever since. I mean, that's an incredibly long amount of time. That's unbelievable. 62 years. 62 years, and he was what, 79. So you do that math. You know, like the first 17 years of his life, he just he started getting involved with the business, and he hasn't looked back since. It's incredibly sad, but like I said, I mean, he has a legacy, especially out here in the Bay Area. He started with a big time wrestling with Roy Shire back in 1962, became a U.S. citizen, and I mean, he did Pacific North from what, 1962 to 1965. Well, then he gets in big time wrestling. I'm sorry, from 1965 to 1977. San Francisco out here with Roy Shire. Wrestled at the Cow Palace, and uh, he and Ray Stevens, they became the Blonde Bombers. They win the NWA Tag Team Championships in '65 and again in '67. And I mean, Patterson, he had a hell of a career. Wrestled for the NWA Western States, uh, NWA, Western States Wrestling in Amarillo, and as Lord Pat Patterson, winning the NWA North American Heavyweight title and the NWA Brass Knuckles Championship. Uh, and he wrestled Antonio Inoki in a tournament over in Japan. Wrestled Texas death matches and whatnot. It's just it's sad, man. 2020's been a terrible year for all of us because like just the pandemic. But I mean, we've lost a lot of great talented people in not just entertainment or sports entertainment. But I mean, Patterson, his legacy will forever be felt on not just WWE or Bay Area wrestling, but just wrestling in general. I mean, first ever Intercontinental Champion. He created the Royal Rumble, so I mean that's his everlasting legacy. And not just that, I mean any wrestling promotion that does an over the top man battle royal, and it's like, okay, the winner of this gets a title shot at whatever title for their promotion, head title, mid card, whatever, or woman's championship. Like that concept is immediately from the mind of Pat Patterson, and he was known as Vince's right hand man for a very very long time. I mean, for quite some time, it was just what him, Vince, and Bruce Pritchard just writing TV, and they did a they did a lot of good work together. He's been credited as one of the chief architects of WWE, playing an integral role in helping it become a global phenomenon. And that's absolutely true. And he's done stuff on TV. With the Stooges with the was it Gerald Briscoe, and I mean last year he won the 24/7 championship, so that was cool to see. And he used to trade the hardcore title back in the day too, so that was kind of cool to see. Him pinning Drake Maverick though back onto the Raw reunion last year to win the 24/7 title. And another reason why he's going to be legendary, he was the first openly gay wrestler of his generation. First coming out in the early '70s. And he paved the way for a lot of wrestlers today that are have come out and have been openly gay athletes. You look at Fred Rosser, who was Darren Young. You look at Sonya Deville. You look at Sonny Kiss, and so many others, so many others, and I got to see Pat Patterson at the Cow Palace, APW, um, 2017, and it was just cool, man. Like I've seen like legends, like I've seen like a Sting or a Flair at a Raw, but seeing a guy that has such a tie here in the Bay Area, that was super cool. We cut a promo, and he had a little thing with Dylan Drake, but it was super cool to see this legendary wrestler uh, just come back to where it all really got started for him, and just be a part of that big event. So I mean that was super cool, man. That was super cool. Just going through his Wikipedia, looks like he died of, oh man, he had cancer. That's unfortunate. He was a big fixture on Legends House when the WWE was doing that. He talked about his partner and how they were together for 40 years, and how his partner died of a heart attack in 1998, which is the same night as the 1998 King of the Ring. As I'm just going through his bio, that's unfortunate, man. I mean, one of the best. I've seen like clips of his stuff. I've never actually gone and through watched a full match of his, but I mean, you can understand just how good the guy was. Just constantly hearing about him from people out here in the Bay Area, older fans, and learning about big time wrestling and Roy Shire, and of course, the Intercontinental Championship, which that's forever going to be his legacy. But I mean, his legacy incorporates with other things. You know what I mean? I mean, it's sad. It's incredibly sad. One of the best to ever do it. A true trailblazer in many ways, not just in the ring, but out of the ring. And I mean, he had a book that came out about him being the first openly gay athlete in sports entertainment, and I think it did quite well. It did quite well, if I can remember hearing things about that online. But yeah, man. I mean, it's just it's incredibly sad. There will there will, oh, Accepted. It was called Accepted. How the first gay superstar changed WWE, August 9th, 2016. And I mean, he walked out the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 31 out here in the Bay Area, and just he held so many championships for the American Wrestling Association, Big Time Wrestling. He was inducted into the Cauliflower Alley Club. He had a Lifetime Achievement Award there in 2008. He was an honoree in '95. Championship Wrestling from Florida, New Japan Pro Wrestling. He won a tag title there with Johnny Powers. NWA Hollywood Wrestling, he won that heavyweight title. NWA Western State Sports and Brass Knuckles champion, like I talked about. Pro Wrestling Illustrated Stanley Weston Award in 2004. He was ranked number 110 of the best of the 500 singles wrestlers in PWI's years in 2003. Yeah, man, it's just sad. WWE Hall of Famer, class of 1996. He was also the one of the first ever North American champions. Back when that title was originally around in WWE back then. So it's just sad. It really is. R.I.P. Pat Patterson. Like I said, one of the best to ever do it. He will be greatly missed. I'm sure we're going to see tributes pouring out, not just on WWE social medias, but they're probably going to put together uh, some clips and some matches for the network, and you'll see a tribute on SmackDown coming on Friday, and probably continue into Monday. It's sad. R.I.P. Pat Patterson. Thank you so much for just your creativity and the imprint that you're going to leave on the world of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. Thank you, Pat. You will forever be missed.